Hi, Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your January 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, just a reminder and a warning to not engage with anybody in the comment box below that is saying that they are me, soliciting you for a reading. They are not me, they are scammers, and just ignore them, report them, send the information also my way in case they slip through my fingers during this time, but just don't engage. Okay, fantastic. With that said, now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Now let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. All right. And one bonus card right here. Oh, excuse me. Fantastic. And let's see what your chakra energy is for this time. How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides. All right, you have these three that fell out. Fantastic, just instantaneously. You know, Leo, I'm here. This is what you need to know. So why this moon? And I even saw it with the cards and even in the way, excuse me, the bull saying there's an intensity to you during this time with this moon. This is because the full moon is in Leo. And Leo, this full moon, it doesn't hold anything back. It brings the drama, it brings power with it, it brings, severe creative energy. It also brings, doubt and fear. And so this moon holds a lot. It's also right before, it's on the 28th of January, and it's right before the Mercury retrograde. So the Mercury retrograde is on the 30th of January. So a lot is hitting you really fast. It's super intense. It's much more powerful. And so there's a lot here. So with that said, we start off with determination. This is the solar plexus chakra. There's going to be a lot of time during this time where you feel like you're not going with the current of life. You feel like you're just swimming against stream all the time. Things are so intense. They're so much, they're so powerful. And so here there is this sense of needing to kind of step back and needing to see what it is that you want, what it is that you're determined about. Because during this time we can get confused with what we're determined to achieve in our lives and what we're competing against other people for, that we ourselves may not even want. So determination is going to be, and with the solar plexus chakra, trusting our guts, trusting our intuition, that's going to be something, Leo, that's really quite intense during this time. It then leads you to dreams, the third eye chakra, trusting your dreams, opening up yourself to the instincts, to the intuition of your angels, of your spirit guides, of divinity, of yourself, of your subconscious that is making itself known during this time. Because there's going to be so much emphasis, there we go, on what you need to do, on what's in the here and in the now, that you're going to forget about yourself spiritually, about yourself, personally. As you're moving forward, it's going to be like, just go, 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 go. And this is going to make things very, very difficult, very overwhelming for you. So if you can step back and really listen to your dreams, listen to what it is that you desire, because Leo, you rule the heart. And it might sound incongruous to say that, you're ruling the heart, and yet there is this drama around things. But isn't drama an overabundance of emotion spilling forward? And so here, as you listen to your dreams, it's kind of like you calm down everything, because you start to listen to your inner self. You start to listen to your subconscious. You start to listen to your truth, and it leads you then to abundance. It leads you to the root chakra. At your root, you want abundance. And it isn't a selfish thing. It isn't a greedy thing. It's a sense of life is better when you have money in the bank. It just is. There isn't that fear of, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my heating bill? Oh my gosh, how am I going to put food on the table type of thing, which if you've never had those experiences, that's awesome. If you have had those experiences, it's some of the most awful things to go through. So here, there is this call of abundance. But what you need to see during this time is the abundance you need within your life and the abundance of the competition with others. This is a time where we need to step away from our egos. And it's going to be one of the hardest times to do so. Because once you focus on what it is that you want, the prosperity that you see for yourself and in your world, what calls to your soul and yourself, the abundance comes, the prosperity comes, the bounty, it comes. And it doesn't mean that you have to live in a mansion, or a McMansion and drive the fanciest cars. It could be a cottage. It could be having a beautiful garden. It could be a very quiet life. But you will be richer than a king because you have it. Now, the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self, with one bonus card. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, very strongly connecting you with the full moon in Virgo on the 27th of February. You have the Three of Cups, the Page of Wands. You are a student. The Page of Pentacles. Okay, this is a teaching moon for you. This full moon will also be a teaching moon for you, as well as a moon where you step into your power, your prosperity, and your wealth. We then have the Nine of Swords, crowning the heart, which makes perfect sense. You have the Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, and you have the Five of Wands. This is chaos. This can be office politics. This can be, trauma drama. This can be doubt and fears and just kind of getting in your own way at times. And definitely others trying to trip you up. You have the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Swords. So to embrace this prosperity that your inner self knows, there is a nightmare that needs to be released from the heart, and there is a rebirth around the the public arena. It's almost like you're going to be stepping into a new essence of yourself. You have the Three of Wands, prosperities on the horizons. The Four of Wands, celebrations, success, judgment, rising from the fires, most definitely. Then you have the Six of Cups, nostalgia, and kind of this shoulda, coulda, woulda attitude is going to be very prominent here. There's also going to be a sense of the negativity that was spoken over you as a child, okay, coming very strongly in now and making you think, okay, so Spirit's saying not only as a child, but in any situation where you were emotionally vulnerable, okay, that's going to come forward. And you're going to be thinking, this is relevant now. And it is relevant because you have to free yourself from it. It isn't relevant to say, wow, you screwed up here. You can never move forward. You can never be at the place that you want to be. So here, there is a sense of needing to free yourself. And you're going to really be seeing that in the public arena, in the way that you're moving forward towards what it is that you want. So on the 28th of January, we have the full moon, oh goodness, in Leo. And this always has us, the full moon always has us surrendering to the divine. It's a time where we kind of let our power forward and we let that spotlight on the last lunar cycle come forward and say, okay, what is it that I need to do for this lunar cycle, for this, growth and rebirth and power and understanding of self? And where is it that my power comes from? And this leads you to knowing that during this time, it's very good to know that the aspect of the sacred feminine that you are going to be very connected to is the goddess Bridget. And that's the goddess that is connected with this moon. And so this moon is connected with the goddess Bridget, who is the goddess of poetry, healing, and smith work. So what's so interesting is that as a fire sign, the smith work is actually important. You're going to be welding things together, kind of forging things within your life. So that can lead to a tremendous amount of pressure, because when things are forged, you put the piece of metal into fire and you wait till it heats up to this temperature that is just ungodly, and then you bang it out into the shape that you want. You bang out the imperfections, you mold it to what needs to be, but it's done through tremendous force that rings through the whole entire body. And that's going to be something that's very prevalent to you. The tremendous force that you are using to shape the world around you rings through your whole body. And it's going to be a time, yes, of poetry, yes, of creation. If you are a creative person, this is a time to start indulging. This is a time to start really moving forward and giving yourself this sacred space to have your creativity come forward. There's never going to be the perfect time, but this is a time of tremendous inspiration and tremendous power. It then leads you to this full moon in Leo, which says, don't let pride get in the way. And the reason why it says, don't let pride get in the way, is because it brings the drama. This moon brings drama, and it brings the ego coming forward. This is a moon, okay, that has us saying, I don't want to give in. I don't want to lose. Because with Leo being a fixed sign, powered by the sun, it is a time of bright, intensity and determination, and it brings with it fixed energy. I don't want to give up. I'm not giving up on this situation. I'm not letting this fall apart. I'm going to keep it together through gumption and bubble gum, and that's just it. And there's going to be a time here where you're going to find it's just going to be better to let some things go. Not all the things, but some things. Just to sit there and say, I can't fight this fight anymore. And what's more important, I don't want to. Because this is also the Rowan moon. And with the Rowan moon, the Rowan is a beautiful tree. And it is a very sacred tree. And it brings with it protection and strength and success in new ventures. So if you're so busy holding on to the things that we don't want to let go of, the things that we sit there and say, well, it's going to work, gosh darn it, it is going to. You will not see yourself transform the way that you want to, not move into the areas of success that are opening their doors to you. And you might find that it actually winds up coming full circle, because you're going to see yourself reborn in a way that lets you move forward in that power, in that understanding, in that determination, in that, in that focus of self. So here, as we are warned against the drama, and as we, kind of understand that this is a spotlight, it's intense, this is also a time where we want to kind of be in the spotlight And we want people to pay attention to us. It's kind of like that little kid that sits there and they want you to pay attention to them. So if they're really little, they'll start clapping for themselves like, wow, didn't I do a great thing? That's what we kind of want to do. We want to be like, wow, guys, look, I just did something awesome. And it's not in an annoying way. It's in a very endearing way. But because this is a moon that has everybody wanting to clap for themselves, has everybody sitting there and saying, aren't you seeing what I'm doing? Like, don't you see how hard I'm working, how much time I'm putting into things? It can lead us to feeling very ignored. Even if we're surrounded by people, we can feel very lonely. And that is something to be very aware of. You are not alone. You are cherished and you are loved. Even if you're sitting there and saying, well, by whom? It's by your angels, by your spirit guides, by divinity. There is a power, there is a purpose to you. And this is a time to focus on that energy that has you cheering for yourself and saying, now it is the time to embrace what I want. Now it is the time to look at my dreams, not to be just so caught up in everything else. And so this fixed sign has us not moving as fast as we want to. And we can see that with the earth sign energy here within your inner self. There's a sense of slowly and steadily building something with a solid foundation. And this is a time where you are going to find what aggravates you, it's not going to change. Okay? You're going to want to kind of go after it and sit there and say, you aggravate me, I'm going to fix you. But this is a time where instead of saying that, we say, okay, this aggravates me. I'm going to step back. I need to. For my own personal well-being, I need to step back. And I need to look at what it is that I want. Because again, during this moon, it will be very, very easy to sit there and say, I know this person really wants this. They can't have it, but I can. And so I'm going to have it. And I'm going to really rejoice in having this thing. And yeah, just know that. And it's not, I mean, I know that's not the way that we want ourselves to be perceived or the way that we want to admit things, but you're going to see it in certain things where you're sitting there and you're like, well, if it's the best, why wouldn't I want it? Like if it's so good that other people want it, why can't I snatch it up for me? Make sure that you really want it, and it's not just going to become a burden afterwards. You then move to the new moon in Aquarius, which brings forward always new beginnings. This is a time where we really feel new starts coming. You can also feel that this is a very questioning time, a very meditative time, a time where you really want to connect with inner searching, inner seeking, inner questions that lead you towards abundance, that lead you on your road, that have you determined to see your truth and to swim towards the place that you want to be. And it leads you here to the new moon in Aquarius. And the new moon in Aquarius says, bring love into the situation. And as Spirit stated before, you rule the heart. And so if you don't bring love into the situation, Leo, you will not see yourself moving forward as empowered, as emboldened, as sure as yourself, as you want to be. It will be a time where if you sit there and say, okay, I'm only going to be logical, I'm only going to kind of plan everything out and have it just follow these direct rules, you're going to see yourself missing out on things. Now, this isn't saying that a schedule wouldn't be awesome. It would be, because it's going to kind of keep you focused, and that's going to be something that is absolutely valuable within this moon. But if you stay focused on your goals, and if you look at what it is that you want, and not what it is that everybody else wants from you, you're going to see that as you bring love to this situation, you really embrace the essence of this moon, of January, which I know is when the full moon is, not when the new moon is. But this is a time of new beginnings. The god Janus, which January is named after, is the god of beginnings and endings, is the god of portals. And you will see the ending of January to be this portal into, of course, February, but into a time where you start to see your power, your worth, and your dedication. And what you need to bring to the table is your love, is your passion, is your heart's truth. Because as you do so, you enter into the full moon in Virgo, which says you are good enough. You are enough. You bring enough to the table. There is enough power, enough purpose, enough insight to you. And I know I always share this, but when I first read this card and when I first started using this deck, this card aggravated me. Because it's like, you're good enough. And I found it patronizing. I found it upsetting. And I found that it really stirred up a lot of things in me, because I had a lot of doubt. I had a lot of things that were spoken over me when I was very small that kept me doubting myself. I had a lot of road bumps that I had hit along the way. And now I look at them as spiritual, learning that had to happen in order for me to be who I am now. But when you hear, you are good enough, it's not saying, just give up. You're good enough. Don't expect anything better, which is how I took it. It's saying that as you are, the soul that is within you, you are enough. You may not be perfect, but no one is. The dreams that you have, the vision that you have for yourself, you have the ability to achieve it. Maybe not right now. It can be 10 years down the road or better. But you have the power. And if you're older, if you're sitting there and saying, no, not another 10 years, it doesn't have to be. But just knowing that you have that power, that brilliance, that truth within you to say, I am enough and I'm heading towards my goals, that leads you towards your dreams, and that leads you to seeing the abundance within your dreams. And yes, it feels like you're swimming upstream, okay? And your gut might be telling you, oh no, not again, not another long, hard road. But if it's a road of your truth, of your power, and of your insight, okay, it's not going to be that long or that hard. It's going, to go by so quickly. It's going to lead you to such healing. It leads you then to the owl spirit. And the owl spirit and the bear spirit are the spirit animals of January. And I know we're only in January for like a blink of the eye, but the owl spirit carries with it this powerful message of connecting with your inner self. It says here, you can see clearly now. And the bear spirit says, take time out. So with the owl spirit, you face the shadows. And you see what it is that has been hidden for you, or what it is that has been overwhelming for you. And we can definitely see that within your heart, within your heart line. Emotionally, you're looking at the nightmares, or you're looking at having lived through a nightmare. And what you're seeing here is the healing that moves you forward out of the chaos, out of the, oh my gosh, I could have taken this road, I could have taken this road, I could have taken this road, and seeing the road that you took and saying, okay, I see it. I see me. It's wisdom within silence. And as you see this, you hold on to your truth, your vision, your ideas, your ideals, and you're no longer dealing in other people's lies. You're no longer dealing in your own lies, because we tell ourselves things to kind of make ourselves feel better. This is a time where you're brutally honest with yourself. And it's not in a cruel way. It's in a way that says, look at it. You did well. You could have done better? Sure. Did you? No. But you did good. So keep moving forward. You're seeing behind the masks of others. You're seeing who's truly on your side, who really doesn't care. And you're moving forward in that wisdom. And it's bringing you transformation. It brings the grounding strength of the bear spirit animal coming forward to look at the seeds that you're planting over your heart. All right? And as this comes, you're channeling confidence, but you're also changing your view of your confidence. This is going to be something more deep within your bones. And as you embrace this bear, you also see that there's healing through solitude, through quiet, through meditation, through taking care of yourself, through rest. And you're going to find that it leads you to the otter spirit of February. And the otter spirit says, you're never alone. The otter spirit says, stop swimming against the current, which is what we have you doing right here with determination. It's swimming against the current. It's the salmon swimming upstream. The otter is saying, go with the flow. Let things happen. You have the two otters intertwined in love. Embrace what your heart loves. See where it takes you. Follow your gut. It might be a harder road, to kind of let the waters flow, to let yourself discover and become. But stop fighting. And you're going to find out that great things really do come your way. And as you stop fighting, as you go along with the current, as you see, well, actually, I think this should be right like that. That's why Spirit had me bring it up. As you see yourself kind of sitting there and saying, all right, heart, guide me, you're going to find that you embrace joy more. You embrace laughter. You say, what makes me feel happy? What makes me feel loved and centered and cared for? And that's what brings you to the prosperity. Because you're looking at wealth, yes, but you're also looking at what you value as much as money. You're looking at the wealth, the brilliance, the prosperity, the abundance that becomes a part of your life. You're looking at things that are worth more than gold. And you're going to see yourself building this. You're also going to see yourself very much embracing a way of success forward, of seeing yourself as somebody who is making things happen. You have long-term goals. Right now, you might be looking at things and saying, okay, well, this needs to be tweaked, and this needs to be looked at again. But I have long-term goals. And right now, I'm looking at how I embrace the beauty of my heart, the power of my soul to move me forward in these goals. And it moves you to seeing your prosperity, but then also seeing the emotional scars, the people who should have held their glass up to you that just couldn't. They couldn't celebrate you. For me, the Three of Cups are those people who sit there and tell you to your face, oh my gosh, I'm there for you. I celebrate you. I see you. And they just can't. They just can't. Now, this could have been a parent growing up. This could be a lover, a partner. This could be a sibling. This could be a best friend that just couldn't see you. And you could be carrying guilt. Like, why couldn't they see me? Why couldn't they, be nice to me? Why couldn't they love me? What did I do wrong? It's not about you. It's about them. When people are supposed to stand by us and they can't, it is a lesson that they have to learn. It is also a lesson that you have to learn. But here, it is not sitting there and carrying these scars around and saying, this is my absolute truth, because it's not. It was a lesson. Now it's time to move forward. Now it's time to sit there and say, you don't get to have any more power over my heart, over my soul, and over myself. You become a student. You become a student of your passion. You start to learn things from this moon that you never even knew you had to learn. You start to see things in a different way. You start to ask questions. You start to move deeper. You start to embrace your passion, embrace your power, see the reason why you get out of bed in the morning. And it's like, oh, that's why. And you start to have that passion, that power, that brilliance lead you forward. You start to open up the gates to truth, to power, and to understanding. And this changes the game for you in such a big way. This moves you forward in a way that you hadn't anticipated. This moves you forward to seeing the world in wonder. It's kind of like when you go for a walk. And I don't know, if you're like me, you might go on the same path all the time. But when you go on the path and you have your eyes opened, you start seeing things that you hadn't seen before, even though you've walked the same route a zillion times. You start seeing what trees have the birds in them. You start seeing, the animals roaming around. If you live in a, rather rural area like I do. Or you can, see the people and everything like that. But you start being more aware. And that's what being the student, the page of wands, the page of fire, is really showing me here for you. This is a teaching moon. This is a learning moon. This is a moon where you're opening up to new ideas and new powers forward. It's affecting you on the earthly plane. And it's going to be this push and this pull, this sense of, I know, I get it. And this other sense of, oh my gosh, I have so much to learn and it's overwhelming and I feel overpowered by it. And so there's this push and this pull that's happening. And there's a realization that is moving you forward. And it's kind of like finding that middle ground. And that middle ground for you is going to be your heart. It is going to be your soul. It's going to be your deeper understanding. And it's going to say, what do I love? What do I need? It's not fully delving into emotions, because that'll just take you on the drama roller coaster, which your heart is already rooted in. And there's nightmares here. So that can be completely messy. And that's going to be also something you have to be aware of. But to sit there and say, okay, too much grounding, too much logic is going to be bad, because everything's going to have a very concrete meaning, and I'm not going to let myself explore. Too much dreaming is going to be bad, because I'll fall into drama and I'll fall into, all the mess that comes with it. So I have to be right in the middle. And it's that pendulum pull back and forth that makes this time so overwhelming, where it's kind of like you swing one way, you swing the other. And you're like, I just want steadiness. And that's what you're searching for. That's what you're seeing here. That's what's becoming shown to you. You're also going to see things more clearly. It's kind of like, well, I have to stop doing this. And oh my gosh, I have to stop doing that. And okay, I have to step back here. And that's because you're becoming a student of your passion, of how you recharge your battery, how you move yourself forward, and how you organize your ideas. That leads you to, at your root, being a student of your wealth and abundance, being a student not only of the prosperity of passion, but of the prosperity of bounty and what you value as much as money. Because as much as you have the Queen of Pentacles here, the Queen saying, I know all this, I've learned it all, and now I hold the throne. You have the Page that's saying, there's still so much to learn. So this is a time where you hold great authority. It crowns you. It's what people see. But there's also so much that you're learning. There's so much that you're taking in. and you're keeping your eyes open. You're kind of like seeing the way that all things are interconnected. It's kind of like doing a really complicated braid, which I can't do, but it's being able to hold all those strands and weave them all together. I'm seeing the braid, and I'm also seeing, what is it? It's Irish lace, Irish embroidery with the bobbins that you intertwine and move together. That's also what I'm seeing here. And so you're going to have to be very mindful, because when you start, it gets all tangled. And that's going to be something that you need to know, that it could feel like you're getting all tangled. That means you have to step back. That means you have to embrace the meditation. You have to embrace the connection. You have to see the wisdom of your heart, because you have nightmares that are crowning your heart. It's the doubts, it's the fears, it's the fact that I've messed up before, addictions, bad relationships, said the wrong thing, lost my temper. I can't possibly. Okay. This is saying enough. Enough with the fears that you're just going to fall apart. Enough. And it's not in a mean way. It's in a way that this doesn't get to rule your life anymore. It's like breaking a generational curse. Oh, the first women in my family, they never have good marriages. Oh my gosh, we always struggle with money. We always have. Okay, those could be truths, but they don't have to be your truths. And there's a release here. There's a sense of, I don't have to walk in heartbreak anymore. I don't have to walk in poverty anymore. I get to be me. And so you're looking at the nightmares, the worries, the doubts, the fears that keep you up at night. And you're saying, enough is enough. I get to be me. And I get to use that power to move me forward. This is facing the fears, because there's some part of your subconscious mind that is trying to protect you because you are afraid. It's like, I'll be here for you. I'll do the heavy lifting. Just don't walk that road, because it's scary. It's overwhelming. And don't you remember when we stumbled and we fell before? Don't you remember when you tried to write that book, but you couldn't? You sent it out to the publishers and nobody called you back. Don't you remember when you tried to paint, but the lines got all messed up and what you created wasn't what you wanted? Remember when you started to study, but you just couldn't get into the groove with it and you walked away? It's like all those things are going to come up. And it's like, okay, thank you. But now it is my time. Now it is my time to kind of bite off small, manageable pieces and say, I can do this. Because you can. You can, Leo. There is this brilliant stubbornness that if we don't let pride get in your way, you'll win. And winning is awesome. But pride is also, there's pride in being afraid. And I know that sounds so weird, because Spirit is saying it to me. And I'm thinking, there's pride in being afraid. Because there is the ego that is trying to keep you from being hurt, from being vulnerable, from being overwhelmed. And that's why there's pride in fear. There's pride in everything that we do. Unless we look at it and say, how is it that I simply embrace the power of being one with me? And it leads you then to a healing. It leads you to a sense of, what does my soul need? What does my heart need? How is it that I move forward? What is it that I desire? Why do I need to break from these chains? And why are these chains holding me? And there's a spiritual healing that starts. This is the Minor Arcana Lover's Card. This is starting to fall in love with life again, with your truth again, with your power, with your intuition, with your soul, with yourself. And it moves you to being a defender of your heart. At your heart, you heal. And then you say, I have every right to heal, to be empowered, to be emboldened, to say, this is my truth. And that's a game changer for you. It then leads you to defending it. Yes, defending the waters, the turn of the tides that's coming. It leads you to really embracing going with the flow, seeing how things develop. And it brings you to the 5 of Wands. It brings you to at the root of your heart, seeing the different roads that could have been taken, the chaos that is around you, the fighting for the sake of fighting, and saying enough is enough. I step back. It's not about winning anymore. Though we love to win, as human beings. It's about saying what is best for me. Where's my power? Where's my truth? Where's my understanding? And it leads you then to looking at all the hardships, all the pains, and all the disappointments in the public arena. I mean, just from last year, it can feel like we have 10 swords in our back. And we still have that energy. Just because the calendar changed, it doesn't mean life has changed. And it can be also a little bit disappointing, where you're sitting there and you're like, yes, new year, everything's going to be better. And then everything becomes intense again. And so here, it is the doubts, it is the fear, it is the chaos, it is the overwhelmingness, and it's the nightmares coming forward. Will this ever end? Will I ever get to be me again? You know, how is it that I move forward? And there's a need here to step back, to breathe, and to say, every experience, especially the ones that break our hearts, they teach us astounding lessons. And there are astounding lessons that are guiding you towards a truth that is overwhelming, towards a power that takes your breath away. And you're going to see here that every single year that you've lived through, every single moment that you've experienced has set you up for something greater than you have known. And as you're embracing this, and as you're looking at this, and this is the darkness before the dawn, and you're also very connected with the spirit world. So with the world of those who have passed, okay, you can be having dreams, oh yeah, and a lot of you will be, of your ancestors, or just dreams of people that you really wish you would have met, you really wish you would have had that connection and that life, and you're going to see that they hold valuable messages to you, answers about family stuff, but also answers about where you want to be, how you want to move forward, what it is that you desire, what it is that you're looking at. And as that opens to you, there's a new horizon that comes. Your ships start coming in. You start to see things differently. This new horizon leads you forward. It inspires you. It emboldens you. And it's like, wow, I can do this. And you start sending ships out. It's like, okay, I see a change coming. And you start being a little bit bolder. You start being a little bit more, it's not risk-taking, okay? It's not like you're gambling anything. But it's like, why not try? Why not try? Why not open up the doors? And then you move from the 3 of Wands to progress to the 4 of Wands. There's a celebration. There's a happiness. There's that walking through that archway, okay? And it's that new beginning. It's that portal of understanding. It's that love. It's the dancing. It's the laughing. It's this is what I've been waiting for. And there's a celebration here. There are new opportunities that lead you forward. And you're thinking, this is supposed to be me. This is where I'm supposed to stand. This is what I'm supposed to have in my life. And it can just even start to be to celebrate, to dance in your living room, or dance in a room in your house where you can just be free for a moment. And let yourself be. Let yourself be happy. Let yourself be imaginative. Let yourself be intense. Let yourself, question everything. Push the limits. Let yourself kind of journal things out if that's how you organize your thoughts. Or start making recordings on your phone and sit there and talk to yourself. It might sound silly, but have a conversation with your spirit guide. See where that kind of rambling of ideas leads you, because your spirit guide will answer you back in a way that is through the train of your own thoughts. It might take a while to really start to see it, but it does happen, and it happens instantaneously. You just might not be able to notice it. And so then you have that celebration coming in, you have these new opportunities coming forward, you have this rebirth. You start with a rebirth. You end with a rebirth. There's a sense that you've lost who you once were. And that can be sad. You can look back and say, wow, I really like that person. You might not be really thrilled with where you are right now. But this is a rising from the ashes. This is a power. This is a brilliance. This is a seeing. And it can be down the road, okay? And it can be tomorrow. Why you had to go through the hardships, the pains, the disappointments, the angers, the upsets, the chaos. Why life had to be so much harder for you than it got to be for everybody else. And what you're going to see here is that you're rising to new heights. You're rising from despair and doubt. You're moving forward in power and in purpose. And this is a resurrection of spirit. Do not drag the past into this time. It will have you mourning what could have been. And the only thing that we mourn in what could have been is the dreams that we had. because it wasn't the reality. When we mourn the relationship that was lost, even if we thought, wow, this is awesome, if the other person didn't, why would you want to be in a relationship where you love the other person more than they loved you? If you're mourning that a parent couldn't like you, couldn't love you, it's hard, yes. But why are you holding on to a love that never was? Again, why would you want to love somebody who loves themselves more than they could ever love you? It's sitting there and it's seeing that you're worth so much more. It's not underselling yourself anymore. It's not living in the past in 1,000 different ways that things could have been different. They're not. And as harsh as that is as honest as it is. We can't change things. We can only move forward. The future, we don't know what's happening. I mean, could you have seen all of this that comes? No, Spirit said this had to be a surprise. So here, you are moving forward. And it's in the present. Be here now. Connect with your truth, with your dreams, with this moment, because you'll never get it back. And these might be the times that you start to look back on and become the shoulda, coulda, woulda dreams. Don't do that. Let's see what the moon has to say. How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the January 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading. We have extremes. We have patience reversed. Oh, that's just too funny. And we have void. We have focus. A fiery climax approaches. Communication is key. A new romantic cycle begins. The answers you need are within reach. Both of these are Gemini. Gemini new moon, Gemini full moon. So this Gemini energy is going to be very important to you during this lunar cycle. And then you have a time for healing. And that's what this time is. It's for healing, it's for purging. But it is a time of extremes. And I just think it's so funny that it's a time of extremes and you have no patience. Okay? That's what's coming through. It's a time of extremes. You have no patience. It's like, I want what I want right now. That's it. Let's go. And that's you as a student. It's kind of like when you're learning something. It's kind of like when you're learning a language or really anything. But you feel like you should already know it. Like you should already be speaking fluently. But you've just started. So here, there's a sense of almost wanting to give up. Because it's like, well, I should already know all of this. Be patient with yourself. Because the extremes that come in are through the emotional manipulation that you have been through and through the desire to embrace prosperity. So you're going to be sitting there and saying, well, I need to do this or I need to do that or I need to figure out a new plan, instead of stepping back and saying, okay, if I just connect with my heart, connect with my soul, connect with myself, step back and give gratitude for who I am, for the prosperity that is embedded in my DNA, that is a part of my very being, focusing on the fact that I am blessed because I am a child of the universe, because I am divinely guided, because the God's head lives within me. you can start to balance the extremes of emotions, the extremes of dreams, the extremes of focus, that you have. And it's going to be during this time, I keep on seeing this pendulum for this time, like things swing back and forth. And that's where the chaos comes in, that's rooting your heart. You want to do so much, and there's such a short amount of time. There's such a short period of time that you think, oh my gosh, I can't get it all done. And so then you'll start to lose patience with yourself, or you'll have these dreams and you'll be like, well, I have to do this now. And what divinity is saying, what the moon is saying, have patience. Don't give into extremes. Okay, it's just going to lead to hot tempers. Okay, because your fuse is going to be short, and you're going to be dealing with people who have short fuses and who are feeling ignored, feeling overwhelmed, drama's high. Don't light the match. Don't do it, because if your patience is running out already, it's not going to get better by adding more stress onto yourself. This is a time where you need to step back and say, what am I learning? Okay, what is the lesson here? And how can I embrace more patience for me? Not for them, for you, to make the experience better for you. And your patience might be real thin. With everything that's going on, with all the demands that are made on you, you could be spread so thin, pulled so thin, that you feel like a dried out rubber band. Like you can already feel the cracks coming in. This is the time where you need to breathe, where you need to take a moment. And if that moment is saying, you know what, kind of like mommy, daddy, auntie, uncle has to go and close the door to the bathroom right now and just breathe quietly, do so. And even if that's like you're not dealing with children, but you feel like you're dealing with children, do that. Just step back and give yourself space, because that is going to be the best thing that you can do. Because as you do it, you embrace the void, you embrace the quiet, you embrace the power and the realization of you. And as you embrace the void, as you embrace the power of the moon, but also the power of silence, you focus yourself, you focus your mind, you focus your energy, you look at the nightmares, but you also look at the healing of all that you've been through. And you start to focus not on the fear, but on the rebirth, on the transformation. And it brings you to a fiery climax approaching. You have no patience to wait for things to change. You want things to change already. Be patient. Be patient. It's going to be your keyword for this time, patience, and if you have to write breath, down on your mirror, kind of like writing in lipstick or in erasable marker, write it on your mirror and see it every day. If patience aggravates you during this time, because sometimes being told to be patient does, just write in, breathe. Breathe and believe in yourself. Say, I'm enough. Breathe, you are enough. Breathe, you got this. Okay? There is not an ounce of a mistake in the setup of your personage. You have greatness in you. It's time to start believing that. And there's this fiery determination that moves you forward where the fiery climax approaches. A fiery, determined force approaches. And it brings you to night with the Knight of water, with the Knight of Cups. It brings you to an emotional understanding. It's like, oh, it's a revelation comes. And communication is key. Communication with the different aspects of yourself, the different ways that you're feeling you're being pulled, or everything that you should be doing. Communication is key. Also, to people who are making too many demands, like arguments and everything like that. It's not sitting there and saying, oh, they have to see my point of view, or, oh, I'm going to get involved in this argument. It's communicating, no, that's not me. That's not what I'm doing. And it can just be through your actions. It's through keeping calm and kind of carrying on, right? But it's through this sense of, I see my truth and I move forward in my truth. And that balances your scales. That balances the rebirth. That balances the roads that are opening up to you. It says a new romantic cycle begins. A new phase of falling in love with life begins. And it moves you then to the answers you need coming as you start to celebrate, as you start to rejoice in the power, in the brilliance, in the beauty that is you. Because it is a time for healing as you rise from the ashes. And it's as you rise, it can also be out of a complacency. You rise from the ashes of feeling complacent, of feeling like you don't have a say, feeling like, everybody else has this power. You rise from the ashes and you claim your power. You know your truth. It's time for healing. It's time for being reborn. Now, your subconscious chakra message is self-mastery. This is the solar plexus chakra. This is right here where we have the issue with, being determined and swimming upstream and everything feeling like a challenge. This is becoming in alignment with yourself and seeing the fire, seeing the purpose, seeing the dedication of you and saying, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I need to be. And then the subconscious message of the moon is boundaries. We start off with boundaries, okay? Setting clear, decisive boundaries, saying yes and no and meaning it. Because you're looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at your long-term goals. You set boundaries and you take aim and you say, this is where I'm headed. This is what I'm going for. It moves you then to your subconscious tarot message, which is the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is changing your mind and changing your whole entire life. It's no longer seeing only what is built, only what has been a disaster. It's seeing the healing. It's seeing the love. It's focusing on even the littlest bit of beauty that you still have in your life. And it's pulling yourself, sometimes by the bootstraps up, and saying, that is my truth. That is where I stand. This is who I am. This healing, beautiful power brought to me by my angels, brought to me in my hour of despair. And I change my existence, and I speak my power. I know my truth. All right, Leo, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending nothing but loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we call forward centering, patience. And as we know that, yes, life can be extreme at times, but this is not a time to be embroiled in the extremes. Leo, you are centering and loving yourself. And that is going to open up a world to you that had been closed for too long. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo.